Okay, I'm gonna record as much as I can and we'll see where we go with this. So I'm going back into Bay Hill, the Ultimate Tournament. And we're gonna restart this round. What I'm trying to do is get exactly where max Bigfoot's gonna be, 4 to 6 rings. And I've already used several replays, but no big deal. So I've got a 3.6 tailwind, and once I get this thing where it sets up, then I'm going to line it up here, and I'm going to pull back all the way back to about in here. And because that tailwind's going to push the ball a little bit, and then we'll see where we are with what my distance is. I hit great shot. Boy, I tell you, this is what's bugging me. Didn't get ultimate, but that's okay. Let's see what my total distance, 225. So that's the yardage you want to be for max Bigfoot. Now it's showing me the Hellfire, but more than likely when I hit this, I'll be at Bigfoot. Put in full backspin. I have a 3.5 mile an hour tailwind. I'm going to push it up to where it is, looks good from my standpoint. I'm going to swing it around to look at the side view. And I'm a little bit, with that wind, I'm going to leave it right there because that should be good enough. Now let's see what I am from max on the ring count. Pull it down here so we can get a good estimation. And it looks like we're 4 rings from max. So I'm going to plug this in to my spreadsheet and put 4 rings from max. And I have a 3.5 mile an hour tailwind, and it's 3.1. However, as you can see, my wind's coming in at an angle. So this is where we're going to use the triangle calculator. I'm going to take a screenshot, go up here, and I'm going to use the ruler. And this is kind of tedious. Once you get your fingers on it, you can move it around. I'm going to place as close to the right. Well, it did it again. So I'm going to place it it's telling me my angle is 79 degrees. I have to think about that one. That doesn't look like 79 degrees, but I guess it could be. So if I take this and put it on this, where it's going straight at where the arrow's pointing, that says that I'm closer to .60 degrees. So we're going to use that. And we're going to delete the screenshot. Okay, so now for the triangle, if you want to get the triangle calculator, which is this right here, okay? And I'll hit start solving. I'll put in 60 degrees and I'll come back to it and show you what I'm talking about. So I had 3.1, so we're going to put in 3.1. That's going to give me that number of 2.6. I'm going to round that 2.68 to 2.7. Subtract it from 4.1 minus 2.7 equals, so that's 1.4. I'm going to put 1.4 in for the ring pull, and it's going to give me a 3.2 rings to pull, okay? So let me go back here to the triangle calculator. So if you want to find it, it's in your app store. And you're just going to come down here and click on the little search magnifying glass. And then type in and then this is what'll pop up. And so you see I've already got it right here. You're just gonna click and download that right there. Okay, so now I'm going back to the game. And we're gonna line this up. So we were at 4 rings for max. Yep. So you're gonna pull this back. Pull it back. Where I had it, I messed up. Okay. Let me get the 4 rings from max again. Cause that wasn't 4 rings. So that's 5 rings, and that's not what I wanted. It was about right there. Now if I use this, yeah, there we go. 4 rings right there. There's 4 rings for max. Okay. So pull this back first and make sure that your alignment is where you want it. And then with that 3.5 mile an hour, but look at how the arc is here. Okay, it's coming down, so this may end up short, so I'm just going to let it play out. But with that 3.5 mile, I'm pulling 3.2 rings is what it wants me to pull because of that wind direction. So I'm going to pull 3.2, and there's 1, and there'll be 2 right about there. Make sure that arrow is pointing due north. Start it over again. There we go. Pull it back and keep it on the line when you're pulling back. And it can come back where that's good right there. And now we're going to check and make sure, and then we'll hit the ball. We got ultimate this time. Will we get lucky? Maybe. Oh, 898. Wow. So we were just off just a bit. So now we're going to go to the next one. 898 is a good tiebreaker. I mean, it's almost a 900 is probably the best if you don't make the drop. So, on to the second hole. Once again, always what I do is measure to Bigfoot range, okay? So my Bigfoot range here, according to what I've been doing, so this is going to be too many rings. So the further back that I pull back this way, the better my chances are of reaching max Bigfoot, where I don't have to pull a bunch of rings. You know, I'm not going to have a bunch of rings to max. It's going to be 4 to 6 rings. So hopefully this will right in there be it. Let's just see. We got a crosswind. I let it go too late. That's okay. Just stop short of the water, so 245. Let's see where we are. Now we got the wind coming kind of at a, not a complete cross. It's a headwind, but it's a slight headwind. Okay. So now we're gonna come up here, put on full backspin. And that looks like where it should be right there. Now we're gonna count and see what the rings are from max. So see, now I am at two rings from max on a 3.7 mile an hour. So that means I'm gonna have to let some spin out. So this is a good idea where you can change clubs. And let's go to Peggy. If you have Peggy 6, that's a good club to have, okay? So at that 2 ring point right there, now we're gonna back it back up. We're gonna line Peggy up this time. Peggy has a lot more spin, and so now with Peggy 6, we're gonna see there is 9.9 rings from max on Peggy, which that's a good amount to have, okay? Now we're gonna zero in here. And see, that's going to the left a little bit, so we're gonna put on just a little bit of right side spin. Straighten that ball guide a little bit. Now we're gonna take a peek around here and see. That looks pretty dang good right there. So now we're going to plug in with Peggy, so 9.9 and 3.7 wind, and we have a 3.3 ring pull, but now we're at that angle, so we're going to take a screenshot. Disappear. Put the and see what our angle is here. And our angle is a 35 degree it's 35 degrees into us, okay? So now we're going to go to the triangle calculator, start a new one, and put 35 degrees, and then we're putting in 3.3, and that gives us 1.9, and we're going to subtract that from the 9.9, so that should be, and let me just show you what I'm doing. So on my calculator, it was 9.9 for max, so we're putting in 9.9 minus the 1.9, because I'm rounding that 1.89 to 1.9, and back to the calculator, so minus 1.9 equals 8. So now I'm going to put the 8 into, and I'll just show you guys this. So now I'm going to put the 8 here. See, it says 9.9, 3.7, and it's giving me exactly what I put in a while ago. So now what I'm going to do is we'll do 8, and it's now 3.4 rings, so it's telling me I've got to pull a ring more, or 0.4 of a ring more. So now I'm going to go back to the game, get the grid back on, show grid continuously, and then now we're going to spin it around And everybody that's watching this, I'm not a elite player. I've been playing this since November of last year and learning like everybody else. So now I've got 3.4. So there's 3. There's 4. Now I'm going to try to keep it on the line. And I'm over the line, so we're going to back it up. And this is where the precision comes in that these elites are doing. They're getting it as close to the line as they can because that matters. Checking everything. I hit great. That's not good. Maybe we'll get lucky. And we did. Looky there. We actually got a drop. All right, let's move on to the next one. It's a par 5. Now the par 5 is you want to get. So now we're getting a crosswind, and what I like to do is push this up, and I like to use the Fusion over the red, the RB, the red Barchetta, because I have a longer rollout with this. So it's 3.4. Now if I want to get real technical with it, I can go in here and go to my Guide for Ultimate Golf, go to the wind calculator. It's 3.4 miles an hour. We know that it's a 9 power ball. I believe it's 9 power. Let me check. Let's see, what do you power? Yeah, 9 power ball. And I get to put in the wind, which is pretty much like that. And we're at max, so just hit this and it tells me 2.8 rings. So then I go over here and I'm gonna get this where I will pull 2.8 rings. So it's about 2.8 right there. We're gonna pull it to right there, and then just come back and hit the shot. I like to put curl on this because it's going to hit and go to the right, and you'll see it there, and that opens me up where I can come in from the right side of the green. We're at 246 to the hole. Now, there's not a club that will get me there, but I'm gonna try to see if I can get this to drop, which I've only done it a couple of times. So there's with no spin on the ball, so we're gonna have to have some overspin. So I'm gonna put it about 3 right there. See how if I pull full overspin on, it takes it way past the hole, okay? So what I'm gonna do is bring it back down to about right there and let that go. And then we're gonna go to I'm gonna go to the spreadsheet this time and put in 0 rings and put in 3.3 wind, and it gives me 2.1 rings to pull, okay? So now I'm gonna go, I will use the Guide from Ultimate Golf from time to time, but I've really had success using the Excel spreadsheet. Now that might be too much overspin, so I'm gonna try to take off just a tiny bit to right there, and let's see where that leaves us. So I said 2.1. There's 2.1. We're gonna pull it right here like this. It's gonna drop us back. So then I might add that back right there. Let's just see what happens. And I hit great, not ultimate. So let's just see if we get it on the green. And I got it past the flag. Oh well. The main thing that I'm doing for this for everybody is so that you can see what it is that I'm doing. And then from there, hopefully you'll learn something. And I'm doing this on my iPhone. I'm not doing it on anything special, as you can see. My grid is very basic. Okay, a lot of players, what they do on this hole is they come up here and land the ball up in here and then try to get, I prefer to use Max Bigfoot. So I set up like this, pull it back to where, and see now that Bigfoot's not there, I need to change that and get Max Bigfoot back in play. I'm gonna check something real quick. Okay, so we're still recording, just wanted to make sure. Okay, so then, 1 second. Had to let the wife know not to interrupt my recording. Okay, so now we're back. So Max Bigfoot is right in here, as you can see where it's getting red lined and everything. So I could probably, that's probably good, but I'm gonna go about right in here. Back it up just to actually push it forward to where it's going to change. We'll just leave it right there. Let's see what happens. We're not going to put on full backspin because we want to get into that range where we're playing Bigfoot. And then we'll see where this lands. And even if I'm not in Max Bigfoot, you see I'm going to use Peggy for my club of choice. So let's see how close I got. So it shows up Bigfoot. And let's see, I'm going to put on full backspin. We're going to go about right in there. See, it's already curving to the left, so we're just going to bump it over just a little bit. And then we'll just count from here and see where we are. So there's 10. So see, I could have pulled back some more. I'm actually going to have a longer arc. That is 6.8 rings. 16.8, not 6, but 16.8. So the 16, the longer you are from max, the harder it is to calculate or get the drop, should I say. So that's right there. That looks good. And as you can see, we're into a slight headwind. And once again, I'm going to take a screenshot. Let me get this thing set up the way it is. I'm not the best at doing this, but okay, so there's the wind right there. We'll bring the old ruler out again, and looky there, it's almost the same. It's actually just a little bit more. Right there, 45 is what it's saying. That's a 45, so we get to see what 45 looks like. So we're going to go to the triangle calculator, clear this. We're going to go 45. And then we got to put in our figure. So I said it was 16. 3.8, and that was a 3.7. Whoops, that was a 3.7 headwind. So we have, it says 2.9, so that's going to be a 3 because of the 8. So we'll put in 3, so that's 2.1. And now we're going to go to the calculator, and we're going to take and go 16.8 minus 2.1. That gives us 14.7 that we're going to put into so we're going to put 14.7 into that, and then now we're doing a 3-ring pull. So we're going to pull 3 rings in the game. Show grid continuously. Okay. And since it's got a little bit of that, I'm going to push it up just a hair, where it's kind of going past the hole. And now we're going to swing it around and pull 3 rings. And there would be 3 rings right there. And away we go. Check the spin. We got ultimate, maybe, possibly. Oh! We skipped behind the hole. How did that happen? Wow. And there we go. Now on to the par 3. So it's showing we're straight into the wind, and we're going to, this should be a drop if I'm not having to use. So we're going to do max spin. Let's change it to I am root, which is maxed, and see what we get here. So I am root's a good club to use. You just got to get it right. And what I've seen a lot of the elites do is they will get the arc where it's about right there for it to go in the hole, because the arc is going to shrink, the ball guide's going to shrink down. So now I'm going to pull this back, and we're going to count, and pull it back some more. We're going to count our rings. So it looks like we're at 4.7. That happens from time to time. So 4.7. And we're pretty much a straight, just a slight. You know, it's not directly headwind, it's just a little bit. So we're 4.8. Oh, wrong one. 4.8, and we have 3.7. So it's telling me 3.5 rings. Because I've lined up the root before where it looks, where I've got it like it's going to go in the hole, and then it ends up short. So I'm pulling 3.5. So there's about 3.5. My calculations or estimations or visual. And then I'm going to pull it all the way up here. And now we're going to see if we can get another drop. We got ultimate. Can it go in? Maybe. Oh, it hit the... It looked like it hit the hole. So I was just a little too far forward on that. But we'll play it again and we'll see what happens next time. Now we're going to go to R4. And the best thing that I can tell everybody, unless you have the firepower like some of the, you know, once your clubs are maxed out, you can probably get in, you know, somewhere close to the green. And if you're good at, so you can see I'm pretty well close to max, but I'm going to push it up just a hair right there. Make sure that I'm just off, because see the pin's in the back. So I need to make sure that my distance from there to here matches so that I get the max Bigfoot. Now we're going to pull the trigger. I hit great. I sometimes get a little too early of a release, but that's okay. So I should be max Bigfoot, which I am. So now we're going straight into the wind, pretty much. This is hole number 6. And then now we're going to put in full backspin, and watch how this arc shrinks down. You'll see what I'm talking about in just a second. I can see that it's a lot smaller, but it's also going to the left, so I'm going to put that on there. We're going to push it up here like this. And then we're going to, as I get closer, it actually straightens up. So I'm going to take that spin off. Now we're going straight into the hole. We're going to spin it around. Take a look on this side. And as you can see, that is, as I get in closer, that's going right there. So I'm just going to leave that right there. We'll see. Let's see how many rings for max I am. And shrink it down. One more time. And let's go right there. So we got 3 point. So 3.1 rings. So we have a choice. We have 3.1 rings for max and a 3.4 headwind. So we're going to be right at 3.1 rings. So let's see if this works. I'm going to double check something real quick. I'm probably going to take a bar spin off because of the offset. And then I will pull 3.1 rings. And we will see. Right there's 3.1. And it actually gave me the little red line there, see? So now I'll make a decision. Do I take and put the spin back on there or just bump it down to right there? I think I'm just gonna bump it down. And let's see what happens. Got ultimate. Oh, man, so close. Probably should have taken that bar spin off and it would have been fine. I put just a little bit of spin back on there for full backspin, and that's what cost me. Well, I got to make up some room if I'm going to get anywhere close. So this is what's leading. Oh, wow. I can forget about it. 18 under, Princess Fiona. Here's an example. I mean, hole in one. But see, they didn't have everything perfect, okay? They drove the first green with that 1503. So they had a tailwind. So that just shows you the difference in not having your clubs maxed and having your clubs maxed. Okay, so this is a par 5. However, you want to be not going too far past max Bigfoot. So this is as far as it will go. And then I'll put in full spin here. And I've got a kind of a crosswind. So I'm not going to put any spin going back to the right. I'm just going to keep it like that and see if I can get that ultimate. And that should put me, I should be Bigfoot, hopefully. 327 off the tee. And it's showing me my Bigfoot's hanging off the edge. So we're going to scroll in here like this. I'm going to put in full backspin. Notice we have a 3.9 mile an hour crosswind, so that's going to affect the ball a little bit. We're going to push this ball guide up in here like this. And then from right here, I'm going to count my rings for max just to get an idea. So there I'm at 0.9 for the rings. So we'll push it back up again. That changed. It was right there and I pulled it back. I'm going to put it right there. Now I'm going to swing it this way. See how that arc is it's getting real acute. I like the look of that because it's going to come in. Let's see where that's actually headed. It's headed right into the cup. Alright, so we're going to go and leave it that. So we're going to go with 0.9 and 3.9. And I'm looking at a 3.6. And then here comes the grid. So I find 5. And bump it just a little bit, there's 6. And let's see where this goes. There's ultimate again. Man, what a day. So far just one drop. Let's see if I can finish with a 14. So now we got a straight tailwind. We'll put on this. We're going to see where this takes me. Okay, so this is a possibility. Alright, let's line this bad boy up here. Right like that. We'll put in take a bar and a half. And we'll see where that goes. Zoom down in here. So that's going off to the left. So let's put a little bit. And now that straightens it up. And now let's spin it around. And So that's a little bit long. So we're going to back it off. Because what I'm doing is adding, taking bars of spin off to give it the effect of what the wind's going to push the ball. And when I do that, you get where you see it like that. So when I take and put the spin back on, this is how it actually looks. Okay. Now that may be too short, but we'll see. So now we're going to count the rings from max. And we're at 7 rings. And so 7 rings is going to yield us the 3.2 wind, 3 rings. One more last check before we do the actual ring pull. As you can see, I'm going to miss it here. So I'm going to move it over like that. I'm going to bump it up just a bit. Double check that. See that arc is going off to the right a little bit. So we're just going to move it right there. And that should do it, hopefully. So now we're going to pull 3 rings. Another thing too, look at this. It's going to pull me off the green. That ball guide's going to, where the ball's going to land is going to be off of the green. So it's going to land it short. So I've got to push it up a little bit more because of that. And make sure that it doesn't, it's not a short landing. And Banger has the video on that Bandit on YouTube. So there's 3 rings. I'm just going to pull it straight back. Keep it on the line. And see what I mean where that line is? It's off of the... We got ultimate. Oh! So I needed to push it up. That just goes to show you I needed to push it up a little bit further. That would have been a drop for sure. That was dead in the hole. Okay, the last hole. And hopefully you guys are learning something on what to do and what not to do. That's the whole point behind this. Okay, this is a good hole. This is the 18th hole at Bay Hill. And again, always set up for Bigfoot. And as you can see, my ball guide is actually, there's going to be, Bigfoot is going to be just, I'm going to say 3 bars in, because the ball's going to land and I want it to stop right in there. Okay, and it's into a headwind. So I'm not going to use full, I'm not going to use full backspin, and I'm not going to use full overspin, because full overspin put me here, and that's going to be way too many rings. So I'm going to come back here, and I'm going to go with just 2.5 bars. Let's just see what happens. I got T-shot that time for ultimate. And see, it still goes out. So 288. And now I want to get up here, so I've got a good chance to make a drop, and hopefully you guys will see it. Notice how this guide is already going to the right, okay? We'll put full backspin on. We're going to go down and take a look down worm level almost. And so the guide's still going off to the right. I'm going to put a little spin to the left, and I'm going to push it up. And I'm going to go up this much this time because I'm going straight into almost a 4 mile an hour headwind. Okay. And I can see from the side view that I'm probably going to be short just from this. So I'm going to push it up just a bit more past the hole. Now we'll count the rings. See, look there. I could have put some more spin on there. I'm at 9.8 rings from max. I'm putting it back in there like that. And we're going to put in 9.8 rings. And then put 3.5. So I've got 3 ring pull, okay? So we're going to spin this around. Hope this pulls off. And there's 3 rings right there. All right, the old college try here. There's ultimate. Go in, baby. And I went too far. Oh well. I learned from my mistakes. Well, all right, guys. I hope that this has been educational, that you've learned something from it, and we'll see you on the next one.